What's going on, you guys? So today I wanted to make an episode about the current election and the current presidential race that's going on. To, you know, just the past few days, I've been trying to follow the race, but it's let's be honest, it's been a little bit of a headache. You're seeing rhetoric from one side, you're seeing rhetoric from the other side. It's just going back and forth. It's like a tribal situation where everybody's just slinging arrows at each other. I'm right, you're wrong. No, you're right. I'm right, you're wrong. It's just going back and forth, back and forth. You're telling a lie, no, I'm not. You're telling a lie, no, I'm not. He's telling a lie, yes, he is. Whatever. Just to try to gain the people's votes. Now, let's be honest. No political figure is perfect. No one in the White House, no one that's going to lead a nation is perfect. We all have our flaws. The thing is what matters most is the individual's policies. What's going to influence and what's going to better the country. You should look more of it that way. Vote for the individual that way and not by a person's character. You should look more about facts over emotions. Nothing's wrong with saying that you may like an individual, but that should not be a reason why you should vote for a person. But what my point of this video is that just the past 2 months there was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, and they ended up killing the shooter. There's still an ongoing investigation about what went on with the Secret Service, with the FBI, all of them, how this was able to happen, how the individual gets so close within the perimeter, all of that's still going on. All we coulda, woulda, shouldas, whatnot. But then they gone ahead and said, hey, you know what? Maybe we should just heighten security, tell Trump not to have any of these rallies on the outside, have them more indoors and everything. So Trump has a little bit changed his way of rallying. He has still gone outside sometimes, but there's a lot of rallies now that are taking place indoors. So hopefully he's taking that to heart and understanding that there are people that care about him, his family, that don't want to see him killed. And now, just recently, with all reports given, there was apparently another assassination attempt. Now, I'm not going to go jump into this too much because I'm still waiting for the facts. Who knows how long that may take. But I don't want to be like any other person out there where I want to jump all over this and just think, this person is a left wing or this person is crazy. They don't like Trump or whatever. We're still trying to investigate why he was out there. And apparently he was camping out for about 12 hours. According to the reports, he had his rifle and then 2 backpacks and all kinds of stuff that was in the bushes that they found. So it looks like they were able to apprehend the individual. I guess he escaped, and then there was a citizen, had taken a picture of him in his vehicle, so they were quickly able to locate and, catch the suspect and put him in custody, which is good. But my point about what I'm making today is, what I'm seeing on the reports now. Now, if this was a serious attempt on his life, this is the second time, which is insane. But then you kind of put yourself out there when you are trying to become the leader of a country. There's going to be a side that doesn't like you, that doesn't want you to succeed. But at the same time, it's not right. It's wrong for any individual out there to willingly take someone's life, trying to take someone's life just because they don't believe in your political views or they just may not like your character. There's plenty of people that I don't really like, but I'm not going to sit here and try to take them out or anything. It's better that I pray for my enemies, just as the Bible says. We should pray for our enemies. And there may be people that don't even subscribe to what the Bible says, don't even believe or anything like that, but still morally it's still wrong to do that. And what my point is you're starting to see on both sides of the aisle, the right and the left, the Republicans and the Democrats, starting to point the fingers, talking about the rhetoric that's being used that may have encouraged such situations. I'm not the person where I consider myself a conservative, and I am in support of Trump's policies and what he believes in. So I will be casting my vote for Trump just because I support his policies. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things that Trump does and he says, puts his foot in his mouth, and he just completely, he's himself, but then at the same time, he needs to learn how to check that. And then on the left, on the Democratic side, you need to understand that there are people out there that may not like you, but then they start to paint you in this image where a lot of people start to twist the idea about who you may be and start to run with it and believe it, and then it may warp their judgment where they may, as you can see these two times, maybe this second time, but this first time where individual is going out to kill Trump, to assassinate him. And just because of the rhetoric that's being used on either side. That's why I'm saying that I'm not for one side, I'm not for the other. Both are guilty in this situation, and it's frankly it's really tiring to hear all the time. Yes, there's a lot of things on the left that I don't agree with, that I think they're wrong because I believe that they twist a lot of things. But then on the right side, they also twist things or neglect things or don't want to share the entire story as well. Both have biased reporting. That's why I think it's important for all of us to understand, to do our own research and not take the words of what people are saying. Do our own research, go online, research it, and try to find non-biased sites that provide actual journalism information that will help influence your decision on where you want to vote. Now, again, the reason why I'm choosing to go with Trump, because most of his policies are more in line with biblical teaching, more so than the Democratic side. Again, I'm not voting for the person, I'm voting for the policies. But with that being said, when I was talking about where the rhetoric on both sides can be dangerous, and this is where I want to bring this in more as like a biblical perspective, and that's power of the tongue. What it means by the speech that you use can either uplift somebody or it can harm someone. When you use it in a negative sense, it will harm someone, or it will start to twist someone's mind where they start developing these thoughts and these ideas about somebody if they constantly hear this online, on the radio, on the media, whatever. And it's the rhetoric that's being pushed out there that creates all this. And God talks about that, how dangerous the tongue can be. Many people don't quite understand that. You know, we see it through everything, and just seeing it reported all the time on political platforms, it's ridiculous. You see it on Twitter or X, you see it on Facebook, you see it on all social media outlets out there where people are attacking each other just because you have a different political view than them. And then people will start continuing attacking you, and start sending death threats, end up becoming stalkers. Or it may go overboard where the person maybe ended up being killed because of someone's tongue, speech. And that's what I'm seeing on both sides. And we have articles all the time on both sides about it too. You have where some Republican officials are calling Tim Walz Tampon Tim. Now, I don't agree with anything that Tim Walz does, but I'm never going to call him out of his name. Just be respectful. Yeah, there's a lot that I don't agree with, but you should not do that, because that's where people turn to start to become very disrespectful. Or you call Kamala Harris, because I don't share any of her beliefs, but then Trump is calling her Comrade Kamala, meaning Comrade Harris or whatever, right? Because her views are way left-leaning, and people will not agree, and I don't agree, but I'm just going to continue to call her Kamala Harris. Just because someone's political views you believe may hurt the country, okay, I get it. But you don't sit there, you be very disrespectful. You let the people choose. By using rhetoric like that is going to influence somebody, and then they're going to do something stupid. And on the left side, what the left is doing is calling Trump Hitler, because he is not part of the establishment. He is doing all things on his own, and he's going about it not the presidential way, perhaps. And nobody can control him, so they're upset, and so they feel like this is our way of attacking him. So they start doing a threat to democracy, calling him Hitler, calling him a convict. Yeah, he was indicted. But when you use rhetoric like that, why not just call each other's opponents out on their policies? Use their names correctly and just call them out on their policies and have that disagreement and discussion. But I feel like this is, like I said earlier, this is all about tribalism. And the power of the tongue is what is the cause of the negative downfall spiral that this world is seeing the United States is in. And it's dangerous. It's really dangerous. But if you check, all right, if you check what I was like just looking about it again, the tongue is a small body part, right? Because some people can sit there and say words will never hurt me, but you never know. You don't realize words are extremely dangerous. Words can hurt. Words can kill. Words can influence somebody's decision. If used correctly, it can uplift and inspire other individuals, but used as hate, it will completely draw out evil. In James 3:5, it says, "So also the tongue is a small member, yet it boasts of great things. How great a forest is set ablaze by such a small fire." Just a small spark can completely destroy an entire forest. Just someone's words can completely end someone else's life or in society. Just be based off of someone's words. That's what God is saying. Be careful. It says the tongue is a small member, yet it boasts of great things. But it can also set ablaze a small forest. Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. People don't care. They think about themselves. Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Death and life. Why not speak life? Speaking life by going out into the world, sharing the gospel, speaking God's truth, speaking and encouraging others, loving others the way that you should be loving them. I don't mean by brushing what they're doing under the rug and then just overlooking and kind of sugarcoating things. Love is also, there's also a thing called tough love where you are actually honest with how that person is acting, but you're using it to construct and build them up, not to demean them, not to make them feel small, not to make somebody feel like they're not worth anything, just because you don't subscribe to what their lifestyle is like. Like again, I'll say this: there's a lot of individuals out there that live a lifestyle separate from what the Bible teaches. I don't agree with their lifestyle one bit. I don't agree with their choices or their decision makings one bit. But I'm not going to sit there and call people to go out there and attack them because they choose not to listen to the Bible or choose to accept Christ in their life. I will do what God has commanded me to do, and I do it joyfully and with all my heart by sharing the gospel with love and truth and accuracy. And then I leave that and plant that seed and leave that to that individual, between God and that individual. And if God presents me the opportunity to go ahead and continue engaging with that individual, I will, because I want them to know who God is. I want them to have a relationship with God. Now, God has placed a lot of these people in power for a reason. There's going to always be political debates and differences and all that. That's normal. That's how it's going to work. But what I'm witnessing now is just insane. I live here in Japan, but just watching the news and the media here in Japan, it's like the United States is a joke. I'm proud to be an American, but things have things have got to change. Things have got to change. We need to change the way that we speak about each other. We need to show love. We need to show that we respect each other regardless of what our political views are. Proverbs 15:4 says, "A gentle tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness in it breaks the spirit." So a gentle tongue is a tree of life. Be gentle. I understand frustration gets in. I understand anger gets in. But this is where we need to take a moment and call on the Lord for the wisdom, the patience. So whatever we say next brings life, not destruction. So whoever you vote for or whatnot, just pray about it. Again, just because you may have a family member or a friend that has a different view than yours doesn't mean you get the right to attack them. You may sit down, have a mature, respectful discussion with them, try to understand their viewpoints and where they come from, and at the end of it, if you still disagree, then you disagree, and then you move on. But you don't call each other out of each other's names just because it can start snowballing, and it will end up ending relationships. It can end families and all of that. And I don't mean just on political aisle. I mean in anything in life. Sometimes our emotions get the best of us. And this is where we need God to help us. So this is something that I wanted to just share with you because I just think this is, one, crazy that if this report is true, that this guy was camping out this entire time just to take out Donald Trump because he doesn't agree with any of the things that Trump believes in. It's ridiculous. It's sad. So let's just keep everything in prayer. Keep Trump's family in prayer. Keep Kamala Harris' family in prayer. Keep everyone that's in the political leadership in prayer, that in hopes that they can soften their hearts and come to the Lord, know the truth, and be respectful to each other. And then we'll see what happens in the next 50 days on who will be elected president. But you know what? Most importantly, God's in control. So that's one thing that we should be joyful and praise God about, that He is ultimately in control. It's not the president or king or whatever. God is in control. So I wanted to just thank you guys for listening to this G.F.E. God, Family, and Everything podcast. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.